So, Surya Kanta Dash, warm welcome to the Logistics Shakti Podcast. Thank you for being a part of the Logistics Shakti journey for the last 2 years here.
Thank you.
And it's a privilege to have you here for this event.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Given your rich experience in the industry, uh, there, we live in an extremely uncertain, or I should say volatile time now. How do you see the supply chain industry kind of adjusting to this volatility or uncertainty now?
Yeah, really, thank you for your uh, kind introduction. Yeah, because just to before, proceed your question, I just like to add on one big board line statement that because so far as a industry, supply chain is worked very fragmented way. Everybody thinks transport. He said, "I'm supply chain guy." Warehouse, I'm a supply chain guy. Service, I'm a supply chain guy. Whereas the understanding of supply chain is still evolving. So in my understanding of 30 years now, I can just translate into very simplified way. Supply chain means demand and supply. So these are two division, demand and supply. So to meet the supply or to meet the demand, you have to create supply. So and demand is unconstrained, supply is a constraint. So there is a gap. So that gap is met through various dots like transport, warehouse, or many things. That's the way I'm saying. Then it is a totally volatility. So it is a totally, you were saying, again, we're in the VUCA world. Everything is really not certain. Since, as I said, we are evolving and we are just evolved to the name called supply chains very recently, from go down to warehouse to logistic, transport. So now we can say supply chain as a full gamut. And that way, I think India being a targeted nation for the economy and the globally, I think the entire focus of government and publics have already started to set up how the supply chain should be, all aspect of the supply chain should be really, really taken care of so that industry growth and the economic growth will be really met. So yes, we're in a situation of not that great, but yes, we are evolving now.
Okay. So you mean to say that's a positive movement towards a more structured way of working?
Definitely. Because if you see comparing like China today and comparing India today, I can say we may be 20 years behind. That means we have a 20 years age to definitely catch up. And that too, the kind of international part. Domestically, we have decent size now. Internationally, still we are really lacking of infrastructure, lacking of ports, lacking of various government policies and all, and good amount of opportunities. The best part is the youngsters who are coming into this area of supply chain, and the AI comes in, is really giving a very good flavor to everybody what is supply chain and how he'll make his career as a supply chain. Frankly speaking, my daughter is doing in supply chain masters. My son is just about to pass. Ask him to do international marketing, the part of supply chain again. So that's why I'm saying there's a humongous work to be done, but there's ample opportunities ahead.
So based on the discussions which you had today, and based on what we've been talking about in the Logistics Shakti platform for some time, what is that one key takeaway which we should start implementing, executing, than just having a conversation about?
So if you see in the name Logistics Shakti, again the logistics is the key driver of supply and demand, is a connector between demand and supply. Today, if a produce is not reached to the and the customers, then no, really meaningful objective about it. So I will say in this entire thing, the key aspect today still the skill set. The biggest thing is the skill set, because we will be lacking of skill set in future, because since it is evolving, the demand and the entire economy is growing very fast, but still we are not having that right skill set. For example, I can say, if I hire one manager of my, let's say, warehouse in charge or my some process designing part, I have to find 100 CVs, still I'm not getting it. So there will be a big gap, skill set. So how to bridge that gap of skill? So more and more people come, understand what is supply chain, don't understand only logistics and transport is a supply chain. No, then only we can really make a really robust supply chain.
So you mean to say that there's a disconnect between the skills which is available in the current this thing and the skills which is required by the industry.
Exactly. As you know, and you've been doing many things, the transport, the drivers work. There's a huge gap. Just imagine you are doing such a great job where drivers are really, really required in the industry, but no drivers are available. So even if you are trucks or the logistics company, but no person to drive it. So that's the biggest challenge.
So we are looking for a world where autonomous self-driving vehicles will start.
Fine. It will not impact in India, because Indian economy may, if you see, it will come and take off the self-driving things. It will take at least 15, 20 years. Not before that, I don't feel so.
So what do you think is the biggest gaps in the industry right now in terms of in the entire ecosystem? What do you call it as the biggest gap? One thing which you spoke definitely was the skill set gap, which is a fact which all of us understand that. What else is the gaps which is happening?
That gap will be intent. Intent means today government made a policy of logistics policy, yes, or you can say supply chain policy. That policy, how many people knows it? Which is not really gone down to the real ground. So that implementation of what government wants or what economy wants on how the policy really helps us. Again, I quote to your quote when your work of drivers. Just imagine a drivers driving the whole journey, getting 10, 20,000 salary, and there is no policy for that driver's poor driver. And we expect that he should drive from and carry crores or lakhs of rupees of shipments. So that policy is also and the policy implementation part, awareness part, those things really, really require.
Would communication from the government about the government policy and how it should be implemented is one of the gaps.
Exactly. And that's the way the Logistics Shakti, as a really, really pioneer institute now, and those will take the responsibility on their shoulder to further spread on, because there is a government body is involved also, because connection, communication, there is association is already there. That will definitely help.
So where do you think is the next phase of logistics growth which is going to happen?
Logistics growth, or again, I said supply chain growth will be really humongous, because when I saw China and India, we will definitely do many things, starting from infrastructure, starting from IT, starting from skill set and the policy set. The fourth pillar and the key part of this supply chain will definitely require a hand-on kind of work. So then at least we can feel like we can be a fourth or third economy in the world. In dollar terms, we can, but sustaining that same thing for a longer period will be really, really. Second part, we have our own Indian local markets, our consumption market. So where it will be definitely good. And also today, if you see the kind of the need of the kind of own consumption is already increased, and the way the people are coming in, like this e-commerce, the all educated mass from starting from your good, I mean, education background guys, starting from IIT, IM people, they already enter in. As a startup company, they're changing it. I just quote one small thing here. 7-8 years before, when the company like Delivery or other company come into the market, our traditional company was saying those company will be really exist for a momentary time. Just हिंदी में कहना था कि उनके भांडे बिक जाएंगे. I was really laughing because those guys are having their skill set or the technological background. They can translate and articulate the problem in technology which is a big lacking in this current scenario. Just imagine quick commerce, 20 minutes delivery, 10 to 20 minutes delivery. There's so many things are coming up. And that's the way people behavior is changed. Now you cannot wait for 3 days to get some product, right? That's true. And that's the way behavioral change is already big impact is already started within us. And that's the way the logistics company, the e-commerce company has met it. So considering that, there will be industry like healthcare, industry like our pharmaceuticals, industry like the electronics, industry like the apparels. There will be really backbone. The supply chain is the backbone for them, primarily in the supply chain side, the logistics side. Just imagine today, Meso is delivering more than 2 million shipments per day in the peak. It's not joking. And that's purely because of the technology. And that too, now people are really scared of AI. But I would say, when I was doing some project, AI was such a wonderful tool for us to articulate what you think within a seconds. Whereas those things we are taking months to articulate in the PPT and so to the management. Now at least we just know how to and what we want, automatically articulate. So technology changing, the skill set changing, mindset changing, economy really growing faster, competing internationally market. I think this is a huge opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
Surya
you.
Kanta Dash,
Thank you.
for being a part of the Logistics Shakti podcast session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.